Hey you guys, quick tutorial on how I do ventilating for yarn wigs. Finally. Alright, so I'm basically remaking the same wig but better for a commissioner. So this is my classic handsome Jack wig that I'm doing for the commissioner, and my previous hollow Jack wig, which needs a little bit of extra love. But we're not here to talk about Jack wigs, we're here to ventilate some yarn into a hairline. So basically what you'll need is some yarn. If you've already been doing this process, you might have collected some yarn fluff, and I actually like to use that for my ventilating too, especially with shorter areas with the hairline. So I'm going to do a little bit of both for this tutorial. Alright, and I am using a wire cat brush. It's got metal teeth and works really well for separating yarn fibers. I have some fluff, some yarn, a Latch-Hook needle. Look at that little tiny latch. So that's what I have experience using. Mine's small enough to fit through the lace, the little holes in the lace I have. Some of them are for crocheting, and those ones will not fit through the holes in your lace. So be sure to get one that's small enough. And apart from that, I also have a pair of old jeans to brush on, so I don't brush on my hands or leg and get poked by the metal bits. So, starting off, if you just have fresh yarn, it's pretty easy. You can just unravel it a little bit. There's usually like 3 or 4 strands that make up a piece of yarn. If you unravel get some separate strands, you can actually cut this or pull it apart. Sometimes they don't pull apart as well easily, sometimes they pull apart too easily, but I just have this. You can actually take this and you could put it straight into your wig like that. For blending and like putting stuff into the actual wig, I like to do this just to add like some blending. You can also just do that. I am going to have to get way closer for you guys to be able to tell what's going on. So let's see. Does that work? I'd say that's okay. So, what I'm going to do, the main process, we use this little hook thing. We have our hair ready. You're going to put your hook through one of the holes and just try to get one of them. You're going to put it through until it passes the point of the little latch. I have no idea if this is even visible. Cool. It's like my finger is visible, but it's past the point of the latch. Then you put the fiber on the little hook at the end. You're going to pull it back through, and then it'll make a little pop sound as it goes over the latch bit. So now you have this piece of yarn in. You're going to put the yarn that's attached to the needle over the latch again. So push it, and then you're going to open the latch, put the rest of the yarn back, so it's like a little triangle right here. And then you're going to pull, and it's going to make a little loop it through for you, and you can just knot it. And be careful not to pull too tight when you're doing this, because it will inevitably rip your lace, and that's not that great. If it happens like a couple times, it should be fine, but if it happens a lot of times in the same area, it's just not good. And you'll notice that this yarn is raw, like it has not been straightened yet, because I literally pulled it right out of the yarn roll skein. So you will need to be re-straightening your wig after the ventilation stage. But we have that yarn in there. When you do yarn like this with one strand, it's a lot easier to brush out. So just do a quick little brush, and it should brush out in seconds. But now you have a little piece of ventilated yarn in there. And that's a bigger piece than you will be wanting to use for your fine hairlines, likely. So what you're going to want is, if you're using the method where you pull from the yarn thing itself, you can grab a strand of yarn like we did earlier, have it ripped off. What you're going to do whenever you grab for the fibers, you're not going to grab all of them. You're going to grab some of them. So trying to work with my shaky hands to just grab a few fibers. Hard to tell, just a few fibers out of the hole. And when you do that, you can use those just a couple of fibers when you're doing this. Oh, there are holes in my lace. That's not great. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. So, just gonna demonstrate again. Got the needle in. Pull it past. You're going to open the hook. Get those little bit of fibers. Pull it through, and then push the tip of the fibers that are on the hook past the latch, grab the rest of the fibers, and pull it through again. And this is attached, so I have to be careful to pull the rest from the fibers there. But you're going to pull it tight, and some of the fibers will come out in your hand, but I have just the tiniest little strand here now that's ventilated in. So once you get like a bunch of those going, it'll be blended pretty nice into a hairline for you. I'm gonna do a couple more and just walk through the process once again. But this time I'm actually going to use some of my bag fluff and show you how to use that for ventilating. A lot of this is just left over from the making of this wig, and you can actually reuse it, which is amazing. So I just pulled out a bit of dark brown. So I'm going to start that hairline right there. What you're going to want to do to prepare this for use is get your brushing surface and your brush. I like to hold it pretty tight and just brush the edge out of the little fluff collection you have. Just hold it tight and brush the edge out, and now I have this right here. I just pull, like let loose the grip a little bit and pull that out, and then brush it again. So now I just have some strands that had made up the yarn previously that got pulled out in the process. So that's a pretty decent size. I don't know, like 1, 2, 3, 4 inches or so. But it's actually going to be halved because we're tying knots in the middle. So I half it and hold it like so, like a little loop of hair. So this is what we're going to be pulling from to use for our hairline. It's not as long as you get from doing the method where you just pull it out of the yarn, but there's so much of this, and for a hairline, for yarn blending, you don't really need it to be that long, in my experience. But here we go. I am going to ventilate some hair. Alright, so I'm putting the needle through a hole and pushing it past the latch. I'm grabbing some yarn, pulling it through, then I push it past the latch, then I grab it again and pull it through. And now we have a little bit of strand of hair. And I'm just going to keep doing this process. I know I hold my Latch-Hook needle really weird, but my hands are very shaky, and if I don't hold it up close to the top, I have issues. But, alright, so I've pushed it through one of the holes. I'm grabbing some fibers, pulling it through past the latch, and then grabbing it again, pulling it through. So this is pretty short. It's not... I will probably be blending in some less short ones because I do want it to be a bit longer. But that's basically how you're going to be doing this with the yarn. It might get a little bit fuzzy and messy, and whenever it does that, sometimes I just like rebrush it and get it looking nice again so I can tell where my fibers are actually. But one more time, I'll do it with the short fibers. Put it through the whole of the lace, push it past the latch, grab some fibers, pull it through, push it past the latch, and then grab the end again and pull it through. And gently tug, but don't do it too hard. Alright, so I'm just gonna brush, and you notice that there's just a little bit of work there. So it's going to take a while to go through this process of making a hairline, but I like how it turns out, and I think it's just like, it works the same as normal ventilating for wigs, but just like the process of getting the yarn is a little bit different since it's not prepared previously. So I'm just gonna grab more of this and do some more long pieces. I'm doing a lot of blending on this, so like, why not put a little bit of light gray streak in this hairline up here? That'd be fun. Grab just a little bit, pull it through, and push it past the latch, grab it, and pull it through. Fun, fun. Alright. And I am putting through the lace pushing it past the latch, grabbing some fibers, pulling it past the latch, grabbing the rest, pulling it through, and knotting. And we're gonna do it again. Put it through the lace, past the latch, grab some of the fibers. I'm gonna pull it through past the latch, grab the rest, and pull it through. Now we have just that little streak of gray right there. Light streak of gray. But that's basically the process I'm going to be doing the rest of the hairline on this. Whenever it's done, it'll look like this, but a little bit better. Because this one needs some restyling and love. But yep, thanks for watching. I will keep working on these and keep working on getting my other wig filmed so I can bring you guys a whole entire new yarn wig tutorial. I know you guys want it, but I don't have, yeah,